Okay, my name's Mark Wrigley. I am the founder of Electric Works, and I'm also a fellow of the Institute of Physics. Physics is a great gateway subject to tech jobs and social mobility, and it's given me a great career. And so now it's payback time. For the last 8 years, I've been working with the Institute of Physics, putting a little bit of wow into outreach. And when I talk to my colleagues, none of them get into physics because they like complicated mathematics. Most of them get into physics because of some teenage project or hobby like electronics, radios, model aircraft. So with this in mind, a few years ago, there were a couple of technologies which were really interesting. One was domestic 3D printing, and the other was the Raspberry Pi, which had a camera. So I put the two together and I invented the PiKon telescope, which is a 3D printed telescope with a Raspberry Pi camera to collect images. The idea was to present this to encourage makers and citizen scientists to explore this new technology. And it was designed to be a prototype which just would be there for a series of talks. But then this happened. The press picked up on what we were doing, and we got into the national press, and our little website, which was a WordPress, went up from a few hits a month to thousands of hits a month. So at this point, we decided it would be a good idea to empower people to make their own PiKon. And we did this by making all the design open source, putting it on platforms like Thingiverse and Instructables. And we got the help of organizations like Wikifactory and the Make magazine to popularize it. We did some crowdfunding, and once we finished crowdfunding, we set up a Shopify shop where you could go and buy all the components that aren't 3D printed, that are sometimes quite expensive and sometimes difficult to find. So now, I think some 6 years later, we've got 400 PiKons in existence all over the world. We're just about to ship to India and Argentina as well. But not only have we shipped product, we've developed a PiKon cohort. So makers regularly send me photographs of what they've done with the PiKon, but they also send improvements and modifications. So it's been great doing the it's been great doing the build program. It's given me the opportunity to stand back and think what directions we want to go with this. And the result is that I'd like to develop the the PiKon cohort into something a little bit more formal, set a challenge, and share the output from that challenge. And I'm working with Wikifactory on that. And I'd also like to develop some new products for Electric Works. So call to action, what can you do to help me? Well, first of all, just help promote the PiKon. It underpins everything that I do at Electric Works. Second, you might like to get involved. You can join the PiKon community, and you can even go for the PiKon challenge. And finally, just sponsor us. It would certainly give you access to a cohort of very high-tech people, as well as some new and innovative business ideas. So that's my presentation. Thank you. And I'll leave you with this thought that making opens up technology to people who might actually be excluded through the way we educate. Thank you.
That's great. Thank you, Mark. Quite inspirational in terms of what you've done there. And I'm a strong advocate of the Raspberry Pi as well, actually. It's amazing what that's enabled. But thank you again, Mark. Congratulations.